What's up, Honors? I'm Alex, as always, and welcome back to the channel. So just hours ago, the entire Home Depot 2024 animatronic got revealed. And honestly, I've got to say, their lineup this year is probably my favorite out of any other store out there. I just love the variety of different animatronics they have and how each one is very unique in its own way. So today we'll be checking out each of these new animatronics, so let's get started. So hello everyone, like I mentioned in the intro, today we're checking out Home Depot's new for 2024 animatronics. Now this video will be one of two that I'll be making. This video will just be focusing on all the animatronics, and then the next video, which will be out on Friday, I hope, we'll be covering what Canada gets from Home Depot for 2024. But anyways, with that said, let's get into checking out the first animatronic.
Go ahead and shoot! I'll be back! I always come back!
Some scares stay with you for years. Everything else is just child's play. As they say, you just can't keep a good guy down. Friends, meet Chucky.
I have had it! That's it! There is a limit to how much I can take!
Standing 3.5 feet tall, this freckled relic of the 1980s is everyone's best friend and worst enemy. He may look innocent enough in his striped shirt and overalls, but play at your own risk. The 3.5-foot animated Chucky is motion sensor activated. His head and body start to move, and watch this blue-eyed brat come to life. Just like in the movies, watch in horror as the dead-eyed doll wakes and begins to move, blink, and speak.
As a doll, I'm infamous. I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history, and I don't want to give that up.
But the 3.5-foot animated Chucky doll isn't toying around.
I am Chucky, the killer doll, and I dig it!
This Halloween, there's a new kid on the block.
So that right there, everybody, is the brand new for 2024 Servo Chucky. And I've got to say, Chucky here is probably the best licensed prop of the year. I don't think anything this year is better than it, and I think it might even be the best licensed prop of all time. Chucky here is just such a detailed prop and features some awesome movement. He, of course, has tons of movement in the face there. He has the eye movement, he has the mouth movement, he also has that movement in the cheeks, and then, of course, that servo head. And with the addition of the arm and body movement, it really brings this character to life in a way that I really love. The audio selection for this guy is also very awesome, and I'm gonna have to say Chucky here is definitely a prop that will be going to my list for props I want from 2024. So great prop, and let's move on to the next one.
To capture the essence of pirates of old, we made sure to include the greatest detail possible. His first mate, Parrot, helps him target every foe before his sword strikes down his enemies in battle. Inspired by last year's fan favorite, Lethal Lily the Witch, we modeled his facial movements after her. Pay special attention to how the servo motors moved both the real eye and the skull and crossbones glass eye. These tiny motors capture the slightest movements to add to his realism. His eyebrows, beard, aged skin, and scars show how tough of a life our captain had on the seas. This piece has 5 lifelike movements, including a new swaying motion from his time on the water.
Here be another scallywag.
And right there, everybody, is another one of my new favorites for this year. This guy is the brand new Captain Cuts animatronic. This guy, again, is another animatronic that uses servo motors, which is really awesome. I love how many props they're starting to use these servos for. It really helps bring these animatronics to life, which is something I really love. With Captain Cuts here, the head movement really brings him to life too. I just love all the movement they're putting into these new faces on these servo props. and it really makes it feel like it's not even an animatronic anymore, and that's more like a real person. I also really love the detail they've added to this guy. It looks insane. That face there looks super detailed. The clothes and everything on him looks awesome too. Overall, it's just a good animatronic. And this guy, again, is definitely another one that's going on my list for stuff I want this year. And he also might be another one of the best animatronics out of any store this year. So overall, a really good animatronic.
Is our Soul Slash. This piece is the perfect partner for our Sitter of the Souls from last year's Deadwater collection. The Soul Slasher is an imposing 6.5 feet high. I love his arm movement and how he calls out his next victim. His haunting voice is a perfect fit to his frightening look.
What do we have here?
And the next animatronic we have right here is a new budget prop for this year from Home Depot. And for what you're paying, you're getting a lot out of this guy. This guy right here, of course, is the new Scarecrow animatronic. This guy right here is only going to retail for $100, which I've just got to say, I love how year after year, Home Depot gives us some of the best prices for animatronics. I also, once again on this guy, just love the attention to detail. They put a lot of effort into making this guy look like a good Scarecrow. His animation's also good. He has that arm movement and the head movement and everything. Overall, everything for this character just looks great. And this guy, again, is definitely another prop that I would consider getting this year, especially for that low price tag. So yeah, he is just an awesome animatronic.
The hands and face are molded perfectly to give her a handcrafted look and feel. The strings bring life, but also hold her back and protect you from her spells. The only thing more impressive than her design is the value. We were able to provide this to customers at a price of $99.
And the next animatronic we've got here is another one of their budget props for this year. This right here, of course, is the brand new Marinette Witch. Now, this animatronic here is a very interesting one for me because just a little while ago, Spirit Island released their own animatronic like it known as Bobby Streens. And this animatronic and Bobby Streens seem to be very similar. They might be reskins of each other. The main difference here, of course, though, is that Home Depot is selling their version for only $100 while Spirits is around $300. Now, I will say I do prefer Bobby Streens, but still this witch here is really cool. I love the look of it. Its animation looks pretty good, and it stands 7 foot tall, which is awesome. Overall, another cool animatronic to see from Home Depot for this year.
It's the perfect night for some devious pranks.
Indeed! You do well to steer clear of the 7.5-foot animated Trickster Trio. These terrifying triplets have one thing in mind, and it isn't minding their own business. Their LED eyes glow a bright yellow, green, and red. The top terror is covered in sinister stripes, while the middle menace wears a punchy purple and gold. And the anchor antic is adorned in black and red. Be sure to watch your head as they goad you closer, swinging their heavy hammer, jaws open and closing with realistic motion.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Hush! Enough jokes!
Philip. Philip who? Fill up my bag with candy.
Display each fearsome fool separately for a carnival of coverage. Or stack them up high, one on top of the other, for maximum madness. However you handle this handful, you'd better give them what they want, or they'll make sure your Fright Night is an absolute smash!
Trick or treat!
And now moving on to the next animatronic. This one right here is one that's kind of a new idea for animatronics, which is cool. This, of course, is the new Trickster Trio. And the new sort of thing with this animatronic that I've never seen much before is just the customization options. You can either have it so each of the 3 clowns is stacked on top of each other and make this mega clown, or you can have them each displayed separately. Overall, it's just really cool how you can customize this in your own way. Now, the clowns themselves, I wouldn't say it's one of my most favorite animatronics. I think they look alright. It's interesting seeing these little clown guys, but I do love the animation. The one guy has that arm movement with the hammer, and then they have mouth movement, of course. And the auto is alright. Overall, it's a really interesting idea, and I'm still really excited to see this at Home Depot for this year.
Hath no fury like its favorite hound, the 7-foot Skelly Dog. Measuring 7 feet in length, this petrifying pooch is starving right down to the bone. In fact, it's nothing but bones. From the teeth of its posable jaw to the tip of its positionable tail. Go to greet this massive mutt, and its realistic life eyes start to blink, changing color and shape, swirling, spinning, burning, bulging, and exploding inside its sizable skull. Always man's best friend, Dog is the dedicated companion to Skelly, our skyscraping signature scare. The two make a perfect pair, indoors and out, but think twice before you invite them in for a cider and snack. These gargantuan guests won't throw you any bones. They'll take yours. The 7-foot Skelly's Dog.
And the next animatronic here is one that we've known about for a little while because there was details released about a while ago. But this guy right here, of course, is the brand new 7-foot Skelly Dog. And this massive Skelly Dog here is supposed to be something that kind of goes along with that 12-foot skeleton. And overall, I do really love the look that they went for this Skelly Dog. I think the body with all the bones and everything looks nice, but I do just really love that head design. It looks awesome. It definitely has that nice shape of a dog. I do also really love how it has those LCD eyes. And another thing I do want to say about this guy is I like how Home Depot's making another large-scale animatronic that's different from the 12-foot prop. Because instead of it just being a massive 12-foot prop, they took a skeleton dog prop and made it 7 feet tall. I really love how they've done this instead of a 12-foot animatronic dog or something. But this dog animatronic, I assume, is definitely going to be a popular one, especially with all people with 12-foot skeletons that are probably going to want to buy this guy for their 12-foot skeleton.
It's alive! But will you be so lucky? Better keep your distance from the 7-foot animated Frankensteins Monster. This not-so-gentle giant has broken out of the doctor's lab, and he's hell-bent on terrorizing the town one stiff step at a time.
Look out! Tie him up, quickly!
Under the glow of the moon, his frightening face radiates with blue LED light. Catch his blinking, motion-activated eyes, and the chase is on! His arms moving up and down, reaching for the nearest bone to break. From big bolts to even bigger boots, this living legend looms larger than life in a navy blue suit. It's a sight to behold, one that puts the mad back into mad science. And if he gets a grip on you, it may just be your last. The 7-foot animated Frankensteins Monster.
And next up, here's another animatronic we've known about for a little while, but this guy is definitely another one of my favorites for this year. This is the brand new Servo Frankenstein animatronic. This guy, once again, is another animatronic using those servo motors for this year, which I really love. It really, again, with this guy, just brings the character to life. I hope servo motors start becoming a standardized feature of most animatronics in the future, because a lot of stores like Spirit, they don't use them too much, but Home Depot has really been implementing them into a lot of their props this year. But overall, I am a big fan of this Frankenstein animatronic here. He just looks awesome. I love the design they decided to go for. His audio is also really good. So overall, another awesome prop, and definitely another one that I'd add to my list of stuff I want to get this year.
Our team has been working on this piece for a long time, trying to perfect our version of a vampire, and we couldn't be more proud of this piece. This classic villain can be the centerpiece of your display, or it can accent any collection. I love the detailing within his teeth, his eyebrows, and the realism of his clothing. His movements really make those details stand out even more. This well-dressed count also comes with 6 different phrases with a voice so chilling, it will keep you looking over your shoulder every time you pass by a haunting display.
Soon you shall lie there too.
And now moving on, we've got a prop, which I think this is the only reskinned animatronic this year. But this guy, of course, is the brand new vampire animatronic. So this guy here is reusing that same boogeyman mechanism we had last year, and I think it works really well for a vampire animatronic. The animation looks really nice, how he turns side to side, has that arm movement, and I also really love the head design they went for this guy. It looks like a great vampire, and it's just overall really good head mold. Overall, he does also have great audio, and again, this guy's another great animatronic, and I think one of the best vampire animatronics out there. We never really gotten much vampire animatronics in the past, so there's not much competition, but this guy, definitely one of the best ones out there.
Integrated color change LED lights, no attention to detail was missed on this piece. Whether you want a constant change of color, pick your favorite one to cast an eerie glow, the lights really accentuate the details our team put into the murderous maple. If you look closely, you may see some lost traveler souls trying to escape through the cursed bark.
And the next animatronic here is once again another one we knew about a little while ago, but this of course is the brand new Murderous Maple. So this guy right here is another one of their towering animatronics for this year. I think he stands about 10 feet tall, so he is a pretty big one. And I think, again, with this guy, another one of the best tree props we've ever seen. Usually in the past, lots of tree props, they've just used like a clothing cloth type material for the tree. But this one actually has a sculpted design, which is really cool and definitely makes this a better tree animatronic to have that actual sculpt on there. So this guy here, it doesn't seem like he's animated, but he does have those awesome lights inside him, which you can choose from different colors. So overall, he's definitely another spooky prop for this year.
He was known for walking through dark, narrow alleys and visiting his patients who were knocking on death's door. Our 7-foot-tall animated plague doctor has the terrifying, iconic mask that has haunted dreams since the 16th century. But we added an innovative twist with green EL wire and color-changing eyes, highlighting the haunting mask. We know the mask is enough to make you close your eyes with fear, but make sure you keep them open so you see the lifelike movements of this piece, with my favorite being the cane, which lunges forward to find his next doom patient. If all that wasn't scary enough, our plague doctor has a ghastly bedside manner with voice lines that will make you squirm with terror.
There is evil here. I will rid you of it.
And moving on, we've got another spooky prop. This guy right here, of course, is the brand new Plague Doctor. I really love this new Plague Doctor animatronic. I think my favorite part has definitely got to be that animation. He has a lot of it. He has that head animation, the animation with the staff in his one hand and the other arm animation. Overall, a lot of animation for this guy, which is awesome. He's also got this cool feature where around some of the clothing and the mask and everything in the eyes, there is lights all over him, lighting up this guy and kind of outline those details, which is really cool. And I wish more animatronics out there would utilize lights to help light up the prop. This guy also features a really nice design. I just love the overall look of him. He's also a pretty big prop at 7 foot tall. So overall, this guy, another epic animatronic for 2024.
Bear witness.
This Halloween, he will reap what he sows. Hovering high above the ground, the 12-foot animated levitating Reaper surveys his earthly hunting ground, seeking fresh souls and bringing death from above.
You are merely ants in my game of death and destruction.
Enormous hands clutch an even bigger scythe and staff, while tattered black robes conceal this grim ghoul. Against the dark of night, this floating phantom emanates an array of colors. Let them cycle with time, or select your scare with the hue most horrifying. Catch his ageless, lifeless eye, and the 12-foot animated hovering Reaper will tell you your fate. His head and jaw coming to life with realistic motion as he speaks.
You may attempt to flee, but the darkness shall swallow you whole.
This fright night, it's not the chill autumn air that cuts deepest. The 12-foot animated levitating Reaper.
And next up here, we've got one of the two new 12-foot props for 2024. This guy right here, of course, is the brand new 12-foot Levitan Reaper. Now, I'm just going to say I'm not the biggest fan of 12-foot animatronics. I like some of the OGs, like the 12-foot skeleton and the 12-foot pumpkin guy, but honestly, just to see more come out year after year, it's just getting annoying. But still, each year out of all the 12-foot animatronics that come out, I think Home Depot still always has the best ones. This guy right here is definitely an all-right 12-foot prop. I love how it's more unique than some other ones. He has that massive scythe there in his hand, which he's holding on to, and he's kind of floating, which is really cool and definitely different from the typical 12-foot props we see. But if I were to get a 12-foot prop this year, I'd probably choose the 12-foot skeleton over something like this, but still, it's an all-right animatronic to see for this year.
When trees have swallowed the sun, your eyes can hardly believe what horrors they see. Standing many times the size of your average trick-or-treater, the massive 12.5-foot Inferno Deadwood skeleton has torn itself from its roots. And it's ready to tear into you. Rich with realistic sculptural detail, its knotty, posable arms twist and twine outward, reaching for something more than candy. Its jagged mouth and hollow chest ooze with bright, color-changing LED light. Draw its attention, and two blinking, motion-activated eyes fix directly on you. He's rooted to the ground by a wide, sturdy base, ensuring he's dead and alive all season long. But do not expect an olive branch. This terrifying timber will snap you like a twig. The 12.5-foot Inferno Deadwood skeleton.
And next up here, of course, is the other 12-foot animatronic that's new for this year. This guy, of course, is the Inferno Deadwood skeleton. Now, this 12-foot prop here is just another all-right one. He seems to be sort of like a reskin of that Inferno pumpkin guy we had a couple years ago. He has a similar design, I think, but I do still like the look of this guy. I like all the different lighted details on him, like in the head there and the chest and everything. Definitely a lot of light details, which is awesome to see. He's also a little bit taller than 12-foot at 12.5 foot. And overall, this guy, he's definitely an interesting 12-foot prop to see this year, but definitely not something that I'm too excited for. But still, I assume that this guy will probably be a very popular one this year.
Lost, are we? Saddle up with Ireland's own nogginless nightmare. The 8.5-foot Knight Dullahan. In the crow-black night, his red LED eyes smolder like two hot coals. His menacing mouth and exposed chest radiate with rage. Rearing in excitement, this massive mare has glowing red eyes that give a ghoulish glow. Be the unfortunate one who captures their attention, and the two come alive. The horse's head moves up and down as its rider's arm swings wide. Head in hand, the horseman's jaw begins to move as he delivers one of 6 thrilling threats.
I'll give you a running start. I do enjoy the chase and earning my trophies. Time's up. Here I come.
If you're looking for a Halloween ride or die, you found it. The 8.5-foot Knight Dullahan.
And next up here, we got the new Knight Dullahan animatronic, which this guy looks insane. This guy here is definitely a really awesome animatronic. He's supposed to be this headless horseman type guy. In the one hand, he of course has his skull, which talks, And then his body overall looks awesome. He has these nice lights inside his chest, which is cool. And then the outfit he's wearing is also awesome. And then he's on top of this skeleton horse, which that too, I love the design they went for. Overall, I do wish he would have had more animation, but for what he is, he's still a pretty big animatronic, and I do definitely love the look of him, so overall, cool prop.
This is our Fear Valley Wolf. The Fear Valley Wolf incorporates our newest movement to be brought to market. We have utilized servo motors to replicate the snarling of a real wolf. As he gets angry, his lips lift to expose his teeth. His ears move back and forth, and his tail moves to show you that he means business. The exposed flesh amongst his thick black fur are battle scars from defending his top spot as the leader of the pack.
And next up here, we got the second last animatronic from the lineup. This guy right here, of course, is the brand new Wolf animatronic. And this animatronic here, of course, is another one to use those servo motors, which is really awesome. I think that makes it so there's either 4 or 5 animatronics this year from Home Depot that use those servo motors, which is so awesome because it's just such a cool technology. And the servos they use for this guy, once again, just help bring this character to life. I love all the animation on the face there. He has that mouth movement, which looks super lifelike, which is something we've never seen before. We've never seen actual movement like that for a dog or wolf style animatronic, so that's awesome. He's also got the ear movement, of course, and the tail on the head. Overall, just a lot of movement to bring this guy to life. I'm also a big fan that they gave this guy the full body, unlike Spirit, which re-released Cerberus with half the body missing again. But yeah, this guy just looks really awesome too. I love the design they went for, and this guy is definitely another one that's going on my list for props I want this year.
A couple years ago, we introduced the world to our favorite bartender, Dean the Deathologist. And this year, we want to introduce you to one of his regulars. This is Jack of Spades. Jack was definitely influenced by a classic mobster vibe. We gave the skeleton a golden color to make him stand out from the other guests at Dean's bar. Make sure you study him closely for all the unique details incorporated into him. He has a lit cigar and a glass of bourbon that he raises to his mouth, a skull ring, and even an unlucky dead man's hand. What is really unique and innovative about this piece is customers can choose to have Jack standing, or they can use the included base to have him seated at a bar or their very own poker table.
And now lastly, here is the last new animatronic for 2024. This guy here is Jack of Spades. And this guy I think is definitely a good one to end on because he's another prop that has something new that we've never really seen much of before. And that once again is just the customizability with this guy. You can either have him stand in, which he looks great like that, but they can also have him sit in and pose him in different ways, which is really cool. And I wish more animatronics out there, you'd be able to display them in different ways. This guy also just has a really awesome design, which I am a huge fan of. He's got this gangster look to him, and the skull head and the clothing selection, everything, it overall just works really well for this prop. And I think he does have some good audio too, so overall, just another solid animatronic for this year, and definitely a great way to end off the video. And of course, with all it said, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy checking these out. I definitely did. I'm still curious to see what Canada actually gets for 2024 because Canada always gets a very condensed lineup and never gets the greatest stuff from Home Depot. We usually get some just the average stuff, but I really hope some of this stuff that I really love comes to Canada, like the Chucky, the pirate guy, that Jack of Spades, and the werewolf. Those 4 are definitely ones that I would love to get, but unfortunately, I don't see them coming to Canada. But anyways, that's it for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe and go check out my other channel down in the description. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.